then I got to talking about it with a friend of mine, and she was voicing her opinion. I was voicing my opinion, of course. And I told her, I really haven't seen the podcast. I really don't know much about it. But I feel like, when you hold a certain position, you cannot put everything out there. And also, you have to be respectful of everybody. I do believe, I think where he went wrong at, he didn't know his audience. And people took it kind of the wrong way. Why they took it the wrong way? Nick Cannon was agreeing, and yeah, at the end, he did put some stuff in there he probably should have watched how that came across. But overall, I think Griff, the one who really said it all. Now, whether it was a lie or whether it was the truth, who's to say? Sometimes you have to leave it up to other people to discover the truth for themselves, because what may be true to me may not be true to you. Like I was telling a friend earlier, if they say the sky is blue, you may say it's blue. I may look at it and I say it's green, and that may be my truth because I'm colorblind. So if you want to say it's blue and you want to prove it, you make that statement and say, go look at this book written by so and so, or Google it, or do some research on it. Then that way people could see for themselves and decide what's truth, what's fact, and what's not. But like I said, in this case, I think the was not insulted. Of course, I'm not a Jew, but I was not insulted because I knew what he was talking about. And if you're not African American, you wouldn't know what he was talking about, because a lot of the stuff he said, and we will review it a little later because I do have his podcast if you haven't seen it. But a lot of what he said was specifically what African Americans have heard, the ones that have researched history, they have heard. And back to the subject, what they was talking about, I think, was meant more if you want to teach. You should have said it different if you're appearing to the wider audience. What you said was for African Americans to understand, because sometimes phrases is used that we know about. And certain phrases should not be used other things because people take it a whole different way. He went wrong because he didn't know his audience. Some things should be left in your community to talk about. I really don't think he was being anti-Semitic. And the reason is because he did talk about the Jews and who was the original Jew. Here she comes. Okay, hi, Dion. I seen you trying to get in, but you kept disappearing for whatever reason. So I'm gonna catch you up on what we talking about. I did a little research on the Jews, and right now, before we get into the tape, we just talking about the Jews, of why they consider themselves a Jew. Now, another thing that's very important for everyone to remember: Jews is not a race. They are not. They're religion. So, when you talk about the Jews, don't think that they're a group of people with their own. There is no such thing as a race of a Jew. It's their religion. That's what we're talking about. So, like I said, they all came from Africa, Ethiopia, and what happened was it was 12 tribes. The descendants of Jacob made 12 tribes. And through conflict, like I say, it's a lot of things going on, but through conflicts, they separated and went different ways. So when you say that the original Jews was of African descent, they pretty much were, and some things, like I said, some things you read or you say, some people you shouldn't say it to, because like I say, just like in that movie, you can't handle the truth. But, okay, I'm gonna tell you where I got my facts from, and you can read it for yourself. And that's pretty much what I think. Deanna, you chime on this too. I think this is where Nick Cannon went wrong at.
Oh well, we had this conversation before, and because of where we are and where we live, we say that we have to be careful with our speech. We have to be careful with how we say things and where we say things. And like I explained to you, I always felt that this is the time and the moment where the same privilege that everyone else has to say freely what they want freely in the spirit of their truth, they can say that we should also be able to. So, in listening from front to back, Nick Cannon said through the whole broadcast, him with Professor Gray, I again say he may have said it another way, but I have no feelings of that he said anything wrong. I feel like through his research, he said everything correctly.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen, but I'm trying to do it two different ways.
Ancient history.
You don't see history of the 12 tribes of Israel?
Yeah, ancient Jewish history, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay, now this is where I got all my information, and I'm going to click through. I'm not going to read it, but you could say, see the history of the Jews, and it tells you about the 12 tribes right here, and they came from like I say, Jacob, and they was in Egypt, which we know is Africa. So that's where the original Jews came from. But who was, who original and who not? And like I say, it got a lot of information on here about who is a Jew and just everything. So I'm gonna put this website on. So if anybody want to look that up for themselves, let me see. If anybody want to look that up for themselves, they could, because I have no dog in that fight. Like I say, Jew is a religion, and so you got different shades of Jew. I even read that they have Chinese Jews.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. Okay, about the Semitics. Now, the word Semitic means that it's a language, really, a language that is spoken that comes from the Hebrew, the different tribes of Judah. So when you talk about them, you are essentially talking about.
They broke it down. That means I'm anti-me, basically, if I'm anti-Semitic. So that's not a correct statement, but since that podcast and interview is what we're talking about, like they said, the deeper they give or go into the history, the blacker it gets, and I think that's what they can accept. I think they were.
Now, the word Jew, it says they originate from the Hebrews, from the Hebrews. It's when I say it's not a race, it's not like when you go check the box, it's not something that you're going to see African American, Caucasian, Jew. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be a nation of people, but you're not a race. That's what I'm saying. So I do want to get corrected on that. I don't know if that was a whole nationality of Jews. We established that. Okay. So one thing that was an insult, because I was trying to find out what was the insulting thing, and I can't say what's an insulting thing to a Jew because I'm not Jew. Just like they can't say what's insulting to me as being a white person. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that was said that the reason that the Jews was upset, and seen this article where they say who controls the media, and I'm gonna show you that.
Yes.
Time Warner,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Roberts,
Okay.
Rupert Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pronounce his name. He's an Asian guy, but Sony. Oh, and this other one was News Corp. Sony, and that's the big six.
Okay.
So he even said that it has been sayings that Jay-Z and even himself been accused of being an Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
You agree? Because you heard the tape too.
Well, I mean, I listened to what they said and sort of broke it down as that being people being empowered and able to illuminate others and illuminate what they want to. And he said they have a yearly meeting. Was something Bird has a yearly meeting of the people in power with where the Queen Elizabeth and all those people who are in state power, which America's not part of, which is cons according to him, meet and decide what message they want to put to the world. So
yeah,
the Illuminati, it doesn't sort of mean you are in spiritual control, but that is the myth that has overtaken. I know a lot of people in the Black community to mean that you sold your soul to get to where you are. So when looking at the video, it was sort of saying how we had to take the boogeyman away. And he was explaining, in my opinion, that the Illuminati is just a bunch of powerful. And why did they get this power? It's because they stripped it away, all our natural resources when we came, and because of what we could give them for their survival, they took advantage of it, and they made us think that they had the power.
He was saying that, to me, he was implying that a Jew may have been over the music industry, because he said that the fact that when the girlfriend came in, they didn't want to talk about it. The boyfriend didn't want to talk about it. So I'm assuming that he's saying that, the boyfriend agreed behind her back, but then when it came to, when she stepped in, he stopped talking. Which, what I wanted to get to is that Nick Cannon was listening to his experience. He really didn't say no more about it. Now I'm gonna try to go to, because but try to pull up. I got this right here. I'm gonna let y'all hear it, because this is where it took off at, and we could still hear it.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you listen to it until I could get it back on screen. Okay, his girlfriend walks in, and okay, so we established that. So we're gonna go to the Illuminati.
You just saying what you're saying. You speaking facts. Exactly. There's no reason to be scared of anything when you're speaking the truth. So I left that interview with what you just said, with that. Right. And he faxed it to the Village Voice in New York. Right. Front page blew up, went out, and it's like Professor Griff, anti-Semitic, blah 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 blah, whatever. And when I first told Chuck, he said, "So what? You told the truth. The truth is the truth." Right. Everybody's gung ho. Yeah. Griff dapping me just up. Just what we saying right here. Lifting me up on their shoulders. Yeah. A week or two later, I'm the boogeyman. I'm the bad man. I'm the this, that, the other. Griff, we gotta separate ourselves. Exactly. And I didn't understand it from someone. And this is the painful part. From someone I grew up with, man, since I was 4 or 5 years old. Right. Right. How do you do that? Right. How do you sit in a room and have one of your friends tell you who you fought with, who you ate with, broke bread with? Right. How do you do it? Then a group of brothers that I came up with, the S1Ws, who, we did everything together. Fact. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So the Public Enemy, it was Chuck and Flav, who was actually signed. Then it was me and Terminator, the Public Enemy Live thing. Right. Constitutes Public Enemy. I brought the S1 W's. Right. So when you talk about the money.
Okay, so we're gonna start right there. So, like I said, that was Griff's truth he was talking about. Okay, so we're gonna get to the part where they're talking about the Illuminati, because from my understanding, Nick was saying himself that he does not believe in the Illuminati. Now they're gonna go back later and talk about Illuminati, but it's used in a different tone. So this is Dion going back in and out again, but okay. Now we're gonna go back to the Illuminati. I'm trying to find a script where the Illuminati is at.
Okay.
And what Griff was basically saying, he said, why couldn't he talk about who's controlling the music industry if it was true? Now that was truth. Now that doesn't mean that it was true, because I don't know in 1986 who was controlling the music industry. But like I said, we know money and power do talk.
Right.
Okay. So let me see. I see something about Sipopole.
While you're looking that up, just quote some of the stuff they said. It shouldn't be horrible to tell the truth. The same people that were controlling the industry then is controlling it now. That's not bad on them if they gain that kind of power. It's just what they did with it.
It may be the truth, but is it a Jewish thing? Because I think that's where it got turned around. I think at one time he may have mentioned the Jews, like I said, with this music thing. And then as a Black person, the way I took it was that he switched over to talk about white people in general. Now, I don't know if you agree with that. And the white people in general he was talking about is, I think he was talking about from like a past. But the way he said it, I think it just went over totally wrong. Totally wrong. Now, I see right here where Nick Cannon is talking about silencing Minister Farrakhan. And I'm going to make it plain. I tried to look up Farrakhan because I don't know much about Farrakhan. I don't really listen to him. I haven't really read a lot of stuff he says. But you know more about him?
Yeah, being from Chicago, yeah, because that's where he basically started. And they take a lot of his words out of context, and I'm not saying that everything he ever said was right. However, when he says white devils, he's not talking about all white people. He's talking about the people who believe they were right for enslaving Black people. So they take a lot of what he says out of context, because there are a lot of allies who are Caucasian. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to watch who your audience is, because now, like I say, I don't have nothing to say about Farrakhan because I haven't read him. I heard that he don't like, certain people. I did hear that. But I know in this thing, when sometimes you're talking about the words devil or something, you referring to, like, say, white slave masters and stuff like that. You're not calling the whole right. Caucasian race white. But see, like I said, I think Nick should have clarified that, because if I was a white person and listening to you saying what you said, you're not saying, are you talking about present day or back of the slave owners or the Ku Klux Klan? You're not saying who you're talking about. So I could see, I would be offended about that. Okay, we have another part here where he's speaking about the Jewish community. So I'm gonna play this. And like I said, right now,
of Israel, we're speaking of the Jewish community. We're speaking of the Abrahamic faith that Islam.
Can you hear it?
That Judaism comes from.
It's sort of broken up.
Comes from Abraham. And we are all speaking of brotherhood and unity. Why is this division? Why is it such a problem? Why is there so much fear, specifically in the Black community and the Jewish community? And I'm kind of, this is a leading question which I want to get to, but why It's such a problem.
It's a problem not became a problem for us because of the propaganda machine. It's more of a problem for them,
right?
Because they've taken our birthright.
Right. They don't want us to be them.
Not deeper than that. They don't want us to be us. They don't want you wrapping your head. They don't want.
Wow.
Nah, they don't want, now because you recognize.
Right.
And now they identified you. Oh man, Nick knows.
Right.
Who he is. And then now, flip side of that, you know who they are.
Right. So let's dive into it. Who are they? When we speak of, because this is where it truly is, when we talk about the 6 corporations, when we go as deep as the Rothschild, centralized banking, the 13 families, the bloodlines that control everything even outside of America. When we talk about the people who, if we were truly the children of Israel, and we're defining who the Jewish people are, because I feel like if we actually can understand that construct, then we can see that there is no hate involved. When we talk about the lies, the deceit, how the fake dollar controls all of this, then maybe we can get to the reason why they wanted to silence you, why they wanted to silence Minister Farrakhan, and they want to throw that we are having hate speech when it's never hate speech, when it's not. You can't be anti-Semitic when the Semitic, when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be. That's our birthright.
That's our birthright.
So if that's truly our birthright, there's no hate involved. How did this message get so misconstrued?
When we came back to claim it.
Right.
When we woke up and we came back to claim it. If you steal my bicycle when we were 6 years old, and you riding around the hood with my bike,
right.
Now I'm 12 and I understand.
I want my bike back.
My bike back, man. Now you gonna kick up dust.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the
Okay.
And
so let's turn that off. Did you hear that plane?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what do you think about that? And I'll tell you what I think about it.
I think that we're in a different day now and things feel different. And the days of tiptoeing around their feelings is over. The truth is the truth. And they may not believe it, but it's not our fault that the American educational system has so dummied down us as Americans that we have to take upon ourselves to look at history books from every country, from wherever it originally came and wherever it didn't come, and put the dots together. And we're not their mammies anymore. We can't babysit them. So the truth is the truth. The sky is blue. It's not purple. The grass is green. It's not orange. So I don't believe that it's our, and I support Nick and what he said, because I heard no hate. I just heard the truth.
Okay. What part, when you say the truth, what part are you saying is the truth? Specifically, because what the point that he said in here, he said that he can't be anti-Semitic, which I guess you agree that Semitic is talking about
black people.
Well, not only black people. Like, remember, we talked about
black people. I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about people in the from the African continent. Okay,
I know. You wasn't here. I didn't pull you in at this time, but we had talked about, and this is what came off of that Jewish website. That's why I had that on there, because Jewish people originated from, and like I said, Jew is a religion. It came from the descendants of Jacob, which had 12 tribes. Now, according to this, and I'm saying according to this Jewish website, let me put it back up again, because I invite everybody to look at it to see where I got my information from. And if you don't agree with this Jewish library, then, write in and say so. But it says that there was 12 tribes. Okay, now the tribe of Judah, that's where Judaism came from. And like I say, Jews is a big subject, so we don't want to go back into that. But there is Chinese Jews, there's African Jews, there are white Jews. There's a whole bunch of Jews. So when
Mhm.
you say it's anti-Semitic, you're not talking about a certain, because there's plenty of Jews, you know, a certain race. You ain't talking about a certain race. You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
I mean,
So when you
originally you
say,
were,
well,
but
wait a
not now.
minute. So when you say, when he said that it's our birthright, I don't particularly agree with that, because even if, first of all, we're not Jews.
Not by
Don't you
faith,
agree?
no.
Okay, we're not Jews.
You don't
And
know
he's
that because you have
and
word
he's
your lineage is there. You only traced it to, I think yours came from China, well, I mean, if you don't care, because we both traced ours.
But
But
what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. He's saying that it's our birthright, our. Griff's,
right.
Griff and Nick Cannon was talking. How
Mhm.
is it their birthright when they're not even no part of that? You know, now I don't know if they are descendant of them 12 tribes all the way. I mean, because we don't know that. But
Well, how did they know who to kill when they killed Jesus and enslaved the Hebrew? There must have been some difference that they knew who to kill back then.
we got here that she
It
says
had to be
Semitic
told.
is a religion. Semitic is not a religion. It's a language where people had came from that's over in Africa. And
Right.
let me
So over in Africa.
yeah, but you have to realize it's over. See, like I said, you wasn't here when I first said it.
Yes, so I heard you. You just didn't see me.
Jacob originated in Africa.
Mhm.
So we all saying, well, at least I'm saying from what I read, is that okay, it did start from Africa. I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is when you saying it's our birthright, and we talk about Nick Cannon, and I mean, is he claiming to be a Jew?
I don't know if he's claiming to be a Jew, but he's proclaiming to be an original man of this earth,
He's
which is the
African, but
person of
I'm saying,
color, because that's what science tells us.
but he's saying he's talking about the Jews right here. He
Which are the
specific.
original people on earth. So it's the same thing. It's the same
It's not
argument.
the same thing. He's talking about you a Jew.
I don't know that because they erased my history.
Okay. So how could
And there
he
must
say?
have been a reason they erased it. Just like they erased all the
We're
noses
talking
on
about.
sheep.
We're
Because they must
talking,
have had noses like mine.
Dion. We're talking about this script right here. We're not talking about trying to prove
It's all one.
Okay. Well, we agree to disagree on that. He's saying that it's our birthright. And I'm saying that I feel like what is his birthright? Because if he's talking about Jews, he's not a Jew far as I know. Now he's a African. So maybe he should have said it a different way, because that confused me too. I mean, that really confuses me when you say it's truly our birthright, no hate involved. Well, what is your birthright? I mean, are you saying that just because you black? What is your birthright? I guess that's what I'm not getting.
I think he's saying he studied and he knows more so what his birthright, more so than those who have not studied.
But he was talking about the Jews. Now we could go back and
Right, so maybe he knows he is one, and you don't.
I don't know. Has something happening here. I don't know what's happening here. Are you looking like double?
Not to me.
I see you as double.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking clear to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't even read the comments because it's looking double. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if my light is taking more power than it should, or what's
Can you
happening.
hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
You fine. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I had this light plugged in my computer. I don't know. It's still showing kind of funny, so I don't know what's happening. But I'm gonna go back and try to get that because, like I say, I don't know what he's talking about when he's talking about birthright right here.
And that's why, as a point of clarity, we're just talking about the interview itself.
Yeah, we're talking about the interview. We're not talking about nothing else but this interview.
Okay. I again don't see where they said anything wrong,
Okay.
but because of our history and what we've been taught, it may have been harmful for people to hear the truth.
Something is happening here. Can you see my screen?
I can see you and your screen.
But it's not playing.
In the brotherhood,
Wait a minute. Okay.
why
Okay.
is this division? Why is it such a problem? Why is there so much fear, specifically in the Black community, in the Jewish community? And I'm kind of, this is a leading question which I want to get to, but why is it such a problem to speak the truth?
I think it's a problem it became a problem for us because of the propaganda machine. But it's more of a problem for them.
Right.
Because they've taken our birthright.
Right. They don't want us to be them.
Not deeper than that. They don't want us to be us. They don't want you wrapping your head. They don't want.
Wow.
Nah, they don't want. Now because you recognize.
Right.
And now they identified you. Oh man, Nick knows.
Right.
Who he is. And then now, flip side of that, they are.
Right. So let's dive into it. Who are they? When we speak of, because this is where it truly is, when we talk about the 6 corporations, when we go as deep as the Rothschild, centralized bank, the 13 families, the bloodlines that control everything, even outside of America. When we talk about the people who, if we were truly the children of Israel, and we're defining who the Jewish people are, because I feel like if we actually can understand that construct, then we can see that there is no hate involved. When we talk about the lies, the deceit, how the fake dollar controls all of this, then maybe we can get to the reason why they wanted to silence you, why they wanted to silence Minister Farrakhan, and they want to throw that. We are having hate speech. It's never hate speech. It's not. You can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be. That's our birthright.
That's our birthright.
So if that's truly our birthright, there's no hate involved.
It's not.
How did this message get so misconstrued?
When we came back to claim it.
Right.
When we woke up and we came back to claim. If you steal my bicycle when we were 6 years old, and you riding around the hood with my bike,
right.
And now I'm 12, and I understand.
I want my bike back.
I want my bike back, man. Now you're gonna kick up dust.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I'm brolic enough to get my bike back.
I know some techniques now. I want my bike back.
Right.
I'm coming to get my bike. You're gonna kick up dust. You might even have enough prowess and cockiness and wherewithal, because you've been riding my bike around. You made connections now. Right. And convince other people that that's your bike.
Now you got a couple of bikes. You got a whole gang. You got a bike gang. And I'm over here walking.
Right around. So now when I go get my bike back, you done painted the bike. You done put some new wheels on it. It really don't even look like my bike.
Like my bike no more. Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I'm waking up and I'm like, bro, I need my bike back.
Right.
For real.
Right.
How do you know that's your bike? Simply because there's documents here. There's
paperwork.
Yeah. There's receipts here. You understand what I'm saying? They're showing and proving that that's my bike, and I'm here to claim it.
Right.
You have to give it back. So when you start hearing songs like Michael Jackson, hype me, kite me, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Nah, you can't say that.
You can't say that.
When you hear Buffy talking about I'm getting paid or getting like the Hebrew.
Right.
You understand?
They want to mute the Hebrew.
They want to mute that.
Right.
You understand?
Even though we are the true Hebrews.
Exactly. So we can't even tell the truth now.
Right.
Not on record, not on television show.
Okay. Now he says we are the true Hebrews. Okay. Now, according to what I read, like I said, there was 12 tribes. Mm-hmm. So instead of him saying we are the true Hebrews, probably what he should have said that we all originated and maybe from Africa. So we was the first, if you originated from Africa, I don't know what's the big fuss about who came first or not, but it's definitely true that Jacob was in Morocco or Ethiopia. So when he says we are the true Hebrews, I think that's where feathers got raised too. Because what you mean, we are the truth. We all, if we all are from stem from that, maybe he should have said it was the first set of Hebrews came from Africa or something. Maybe he should have said that. What do you think?
I think that he's an intelligent man with degrees and he studied what he's saying. And if we're to believe the white Jesus, these Europeans and Americans, Caucasian Americans are painted on our walls, who are we to doubt a black man who has studied and said he's an original Hebrew?
Okay, what I'm doing, I'm trying to stick to this script. Now, we're not talking about Jesus at this time.
Well, you just said who is he to say he was an original Hebrew? So we are actually talking about the same thing.
You talking about Jesus saying
we're talking about Nick Cannon saying that we are original Hebrews. So who are we to say we're not? Because obviously he studied it.
Well, the thing about it, if you have a child that had 12 children and everybody came out that original mother, it's really nobody is not original. I mean, they all are the same. If
I have 12 kids, yeah, and they all go all over the country, they're still my kids.
Okay, that's right. So it's true.
The original Hebrews were the original people, so they are Hebrews.
They are
no matter
Hebrews.
Where they go. No matter
Hebrews.
What country they're in, they're still Hebrews.
So you're saying the same
black.
Thing.
If you're born in China, all day long, they know you're black.
Dion, you're saying the same thing I'm saying. They all are Hebrews. They all are Hebrews.
Yes, from the original tribe.
I think he should have voiced that a little differently. I think that should have been voiced a little differently because it's no set. If you read, go by what you're reading, and I could agree that it started over in Ethiopia. Okay, it started over there, but when they spread out, they still Hebrews. They still the same. They still the same.
I'm having a bad connection. 1 second.
Yeah, you sure are because you just left. But anyway, so that's what I got to say on that. So the next thing we're gonna go on and I did pull up. We're gonna go to the Illuminati. I think that's what we want to hear next. And what he was saying, George was saying, is that when he said that they're trying to take it away from us, I guess he was saying that Jews do not want to recognize the black Jews, which I don't think that's true either, because my friend who is a Jew, I didn't know anything about the Jews. I didn't know anything about the Jews, and I had a supervisor at work. She was black. And she said that she was a Jew. That was strange to me. I didn't know. So I came back and asked her, I said, how could she be black and be a Jew? And she verified, yeah, there are some black Jews. So, I mean, I didn't know. I never, where I lived at, I never seen black Jews. But, apparently from reading, there are a lot of black people that practice Judaism, and they are Jews just like everybody else. Okay, so what he was saying is that the rest of the Jews, and I'm guessing, I don't know for a fact, he was saying other than the black Jews, the white Jews do not want to recognize the black Jews. And I think that's why he was saying we're the original Jews, but I think that should have been put a whole different way. That's my take on it.
Well, okay. They don't. That's why they're having so many problems in Israel. They want to.
I guess you black. You said you keep on talking.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
said they want to keep the black Jews just like they want to keep the American Indians over here on tribal lands and giving them a certain section in their own land. And they're having that same problem in Israel with the Ethiopian Jews. They
Now,
don't
he
want
did
them, and
say,
they're the originals, but they're trying to tell them where to go.
yeah, but like I said, I think he should have worded that original Jew, because if you all came from the same person that was originated in Ethiopia, even though you went all around the world, you still a Jew. Okay, so then Nick Cannon, and remind you still, that was Griff talking. That wasn't Nick Cannon. That was Griff talking. He was just, like I said,
Agreed.
trying to follow him. Okay. Then Nick Cannon was talking about the ISIS papers, and I'm going to admit, I have not read about the ISIS papers. Have you?
Not incomplete, I haven't.
Yeah, so I can't speak on that. I guess that's something we have to look at, because the ISIS papers is supposed to be talking how we supposed to be oppressed and everything, as far as, I don't know if it's white people in general oppressing us or Jews. I really don't know what the ISIS papers. I heard of it. Oh, I found out why my thing was acting funny. I don't have power on. Okay, so I want to get to this Illuminati, because I know specifically he says, I'm looking through the script. If you got the transcript, you can tell me exactly where on the tape, because I don't want to play the whole tape. You got the script? You got the transcript?
No, not in front of me, but I remember what he said about it.
Okay, and we was talking about Semitic. So I'm gonna share my screen, because we had that question up, and I wanted to go to it to show her where she said it's a group of people. It's not a group of people. It's a language, and I'm gonna show that while I'm looking for this. Okay, that's what Semitic is. You can read that, right?
It's a little small. Let's see. Oh, I see it. Relating to or constituting a subfamily of the Afro-Ionic language family that includes Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and Hamite, of relating to the characteristic of Semite.
Yeah. So really, like he said, when you're talking and
then it says Jewish.
Yeah. So when you talk about anti-Semitic, you're really talking about black, white, Chinese, whoever Hebrew descent, whoever that descent is. So it's not just talking about okay, here we go. Okay, I got the section. So we're going to hear about the Illuminati.
Like even Trump and this government in America, and we talk about, are those same people that we're speaking of?
No, they're not.
And just for the clarity, that's what that's what I want to put out there.
No, they flunkies. Let's demystify it.
Yeah. Like, let's really break it down, because I feel like that's where we get it becomes the boogeyman when we talk about, and even like when we talk about these meetings, like the Bilderberg Group, which is a meeting that goes on in Europe once a year with the most powerful people in the world, most powerful people in media, presidents, kings, queens. Queen Elizabeth be there. These are the richest people. These are the elite. They actually meet on world affairs, and where the Bilderberg Group, they housed it. And we're like, we want to bring powerful people together to show how we can make the world a better place and have this meeting. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But for the Bilderberg Group, they housed it, and we're like, we want to bring powerful people together to show how we can make the world a better place and have this meeting. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But ultimately, they're saying, what messaging?
Domination and world control
are we putting out there? And then when we go and we speak about the New World Order, I have this question for you. Why is the New World Order a one world government, domination world? Why is that so dangerous? Why is that a bad thing? Why isn't that a good thing? Why can't we subscribe to say, oh, we just want everyone to come together. We want everyone to be
We want the nations to unite. We want a united nation. Why is that dangerous?
I had the pleasure of having some brief conversations the other night in Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center, behind stage with Erykah Badu. She did a video, window seat.
Right.
Then she did a couple of other videos where she literally was walking through and disrobing.
Right where JFK was
assassinated, right. And gunshots rang out and she bled blue blood. See where I'm going with this?
The blue bloods.
The blue bloods. So regardless of what we call them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And let's see if we're going to go to blue blood, going back to understanding a blue blood is a European person because they don't have pigment in their skin that you can see their blue veins.
Exactly. And blood is blue until oxygen, the air hit it, and it turns red.
Right.
Democrat, Republican Party.
Red
See,
and
it's
blue,
not
Bloods and Crips.
Exactly. They set that kind of thing, Hegelian dialectic principle.
Yeah.
The opposing forces controlled by the same people.
Right. So then let's go to what it really is then. When we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys and understanding that our melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what, Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear and that
genetic annihilation
deficiency of when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul that we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less, and where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this I won't say warrior, but they built up such this conquering barbaric mentality that they're coming out of Europe. They then said, in order for us to survive, we have to take what's not ours. And then they went into the land that actually where we all originated. And instead of trying to make friends, they said, we want what you got, because there's this mentality of whether it's the Caesars or even that we have to conquer.
Right.
So I say all that to say the context. And when we speak of whether it's Jewish people, white people, Europeans, the Illuminati, they were doing that as survival tactics to stay on this planet.
Right, because
we never had to do that.
Right, because they've learned when they circumnavigated the globe and they ran into these islands and these places, and we were already there to greet them.
Right, with open arms.
With open arms, teaching them, but they
were deficient.
They were deficient, so they wanted to get what they thought we had, and we did have it. So the rape took place of the woman. The theft took place of the natural resources.
And then that's where their disease.
Exactly.
That's where their mentality. Because I'm trying to get to that place of how they were able to get control over the gods. How they were able to get control over their
once they learned that, though, and now they raped and impregnated, left and came back, and they saw the child lighter, they said, wow, That's when they learned
is how
genetics, genetic annihilation. So now you have to set up a system of white supremacy to control that.
Right.
So now we have 13 families here, Illuminati that's manipulating and controlling subgroups. Now we got to set up organizations.
Coming out of Europe.
You understand what I'm saying? In that same system, now you're talking about survival, what you just laid out. Now it's fight or flight. Now we have to set up these systems in order to survive.
Right.
But listen, not just survive to get some damn some hamburger buns and some cheese. I'm talking about on a genetic level.
Because they will, and that's even the white nationalists to the white supremacy mentalities to Donald Trump himself wanting to build walls.
Right.
They're trying to keep their what they consider purity.
Exactly. On a
they're trying to stay alive
because sometimes they don't know why they acting out.
It's just been proven. It was National Geographic just put it out by 2050.
Uh-huh.
Every person will be a person of color
in a minute.
They saying that's as soon as 2050.
So let me ask you something. So what is the subconsciousness saying? What's the fear? Well, the subconscious said, "I got to survive."
Right.
What do I have to do?
That's what it's been from the beginning with the.
Okay. How do you do that? How do you do that and show love? I got to take natural resources because I may not be here in a minute. Right. I got to bomb these people back to the Stone Age because I'm not going to be here. I got to be able to dominate.
War was created.
Exactly, and control and dominate people. Okay. I have to survive on this planet.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right.
And as you call it, this the great quote right here: "Life is living in fear of extinction."
Right. So, and that's
okay. Now, what did you think about that? And I'll tell you what I think about it. I understand. Well, let me go first. I understand, and this is why I said you have to realize your audience when you talk to people, because as an African American person, I understand what he was making like parables and stuff. You know what I'm saying about parables about this is you the savage and you have to. Now he's not talking about Pacific Jews right here. I think he's talking about white people in general. And what he's saying is, this is my breakdown of my interpretation, is that a long time ago, the Europeans, and you can even see this if you watch the show, the Vikings. They came from a place that is real cold. You can't grow nothing. And, they need food and they need resources. So they did go out and hunt. I mean, like I say, that is history. That is history. So they went out and hunt and they killed, they conquered, they did whatever they needed to do to get resources. Mm-hmm. So when they came to a warmer climate, which is, you could say Africa, a warmer climate, African people lived in a warmer climate. So they wasn't fighters. They wasn't, because they had good soil. They had sun to do their crop.
I didn't understand that.
That's my phone. They had, they was able to make their food. So right. They, when, just like the Native Americans, when they see the ship coming from over the horizon, they ready to welcome you, invite you to dinner. Mm-hmm. But the Europeans, like I say, people in those ice countries, the Netherlands and all that stuff, they come into attack. And me and your mom, we watch Vikings and stuff, so I know very well about that. So I think that's what he was saying. And he was making the reference about long time ago. I mean, long time ago. And it's not a pretty history. I mean, even slavery is not a pretty history, but it is history. But I think that when he said it, and again, Nick Cannon was trying to spell it out. That's why he said, well, let me be very careful here. I think he was trying to spell it out, but some things, like I said, some things you need to, if you can't break it down on a level to really get your whole audience to understand what you're saying, you probably shouldn't have said it to that audience if you don't have time to break it down, because I think people took that as what you're calling us animals. You calling us, being animalistic. Well, he's talking about way before anybody on this earth ever lived. That's just the history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you have to say?
Well, I know, like I said, we sort of, discussed some of this before, and my views have changed a bit because I think we're sort of in a Martin Malcolm on this, because I think by any means necessary, we should tell them the truth. And whether they accept it, that's fine, but it's not so much our job to educate them anymore, but to educate our youth. And the truth is the truth, and the truth, some of it, they haven't read. And
But
I'm
don't
glad
you?
brothers in a place. You said, did you go listen?
Okay, go ahead.
And the fact that brother has enough money now where he feels comfortable that he can make it whether he's on a show or not, but he can tell his truth. I sort of respect, not sort of, I do. And I'm so sick of us having to tiptoe around the truth when we know they know the truth. They know all of this. The youth of the youth of this country may not, but their granddaddies know. So if their children are more, if their granddaddy knows the truth, and they're afraid because their children and grandchildren are listening to their Black friends now who are starting to wake up, as they said they did. But I think the time for tiptoeing around the truth should be over. And I'm not saying all white people are savages. Of course, that's not true. However, just like in our bloodline, we have, the Jamaican slave master that came and told the Americans how to keep Blacks in servitude forever by putting fear in them, and it would be in their bloodline. So has Europeans put superiority in theirs, and they'll feel like they're superior forever. And it's up to us to meet in the middle here and figure the truth out. And the truth can't be told around. So Black, white, yellow, green, or indifferent or not, I think it's time for more celebrities to step up and stop being in Candyland Negroes and tell the truth, the ugly truth.
Well, I just feel like you said, are you teaching white people or are you not? I just feel like this platform, now, remember we talked about sometime when you of a different standard, when you are in the limelight and you have a different stage. You can't come out and say stuff that's because people ain't gonna understand it. People is not gonna understand it. If you have a white person, if Donald Trump right now said there was African kings that sold their people to the white slave keepers, some Black people would get all with their drawers up their butt and be like, how dare he say that? And
well, that's their fault because they should study there.
That's what I'm saying. So, right, but what I'm saying is, it's not right for Donald Trump as a president to get up and say that. I mean, why? He's not trying to teach nobody no history. Is he a college of historian? I mean, why get up and say something that first of all, it's not gonna.
Black people did sell Black people in Africa. We all know that.
We all know that, but I'm saying, still, if he got up and said it, Black people will be up in an uproar.
Well,
not every Black
people problem for not studying the history.
Well, I feel like
problem if they don't study theirs. Same thing.
Okay, but I feel like when you have a different when you're on the center stage, you have to gear your audience to everybody. And everybody is not gonna, is Nick Cannon, if he's gonna teach history, he probably should have said at the beginning of the thing, and stated his facts where he got his history from, so people could look it up. You know, just like what the things that I'm telling you, if I don't know, I don't know. But things that I know, I'm telling you. You know.
And after I looked at it twice, I realized that he did give references to books where he found stuff.
Well, you talk about the ISIS papers?
No, not just that. He gave several references in that whole interview to where he got his information and he studied it. So, I mean, that's why I came to the conclusion that maybe he does know he's an original he.
Well, you're not an original. I still say if I was a mother,
how can you say
I did read that. I did read that.
Like he does?
All the Jews is a descendant from Jacob. And Jacob was in Ethiopia.
They went to the land.
So that's where they started from, Ethiopia. So if he had 12 kids and they separated themselves, okay, they was first Ethiopians. But once you separate yourself and you mix with this person and mix with that person and mix with that person, you still is a Jew. You ain't the original, you still a Jew.
So the Ethiopians that have mixed their blood are original Jews, right?
Yeah. Oh, but you can't say you the only one. Just like that's like me saying I
never heard him say that. He never said the only one. He said people of African descent are.
No, he didn't say African descent. He said we are the original.
Well, when he said we, he's an African American, so I'm assuming he's talking about African people.
I don't know, but I still disagree with the original. So we'll leave that and disagree, okay. You know, agree to disagree. Okay, then I got somebody said that I need to read my Bible. I don't know what that's about.
That but I do believe that they have stolen, being the Catholic Church have stolen stories from Kemet, which is an African religious book, and they have distorted the truth to fit their narrative and to control us.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I do believe that, but I don't think that you should throw the baby out with the baby water. So you can rise and read other things in it from history and study and get the truth.
I agree. Because I did, when I found that out, you know, I had a block up because, you know, you can't tell me what I didn't thought I knew. You know what I'm saying? So when I found out my mother agreed with him, I went and studied it for myself. And I was just mystified. I was like, and you know, that goes to show you sometimes you just because somebody been telling you something all your life do not mean it's true. But you know, I want to make it plain to everybody out there in YouTube land. I do believe in God. And I do know the Bible is inspired by the works of man. Now, like I say, some things, you know, some things you have to navigate, like she said, but overall, there is a God. I do believe in him. And with that point, the next thing I don't agree with, I don't know where he get calling themselves God. I do not agree with that at all.
So now I watched it twice. That's not what you're saying.
That is what he said. He said
you need to watch it again.
Oh, you want to see that part again? Okay.
No. You let it play too long for me. But he said that God with a small g, not with a capital G, meaning we're not the creator, is what he said. He said that because God created us, God is in us. So, of course, we're God. You know, we have God in us. So we're gods walking around. He said we're not God with a capital G.
Okay, you don't think God created white people? God created Chinese people? God created everybody.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything about any of them negatively.
But he said we are God. I don't.
No, he said we're not God with a capital G.
Okay, that's just like saying if a white person call you a nigger and say they left the A off.
No, it's not.
I mean, they left the A on. I mean, okay. First of all, this is what I believe in. You can go ahead and say what you want to say. Okay, I get what he's saying about, we got melanin in our skin that helps us in the sun. We got this, we got that, and he says we are God. And later on, he's going to keep saying that reference. Now, I believe, as respect to God, like I say, I do believe in God. I don't think it's right to compare yourself to no God. God is God. He's the only God. And for us, he made us. For us to sit up there and say, I wouldn't even play like that. I wouldn't even,
I don't think they're playing.
I didn't say they was playing. I didn't say they were playing. I said I wouldn't even play like that. I wouldn't even use that as an expression. Me, myself. Because I believe God is the only one God.
He is, that's what they said. He's the creator. They're not the creator. They're just trying to be like him.
So they put themselves in God. I disagree with that. That's all I'm saying.
They said that they were created by the greatest thing in this universe, and it's up to them to try to display that in their lives. They're not saying they're the creator. They're saying the Bible, which was stolen out of Kenneth, says they were made in his own image. And so the God is in them, and it's up to them to be gods on this place that they put them. They're not saying they're God, the creator.
Okay,
is what
so
I got.
You saying, okay, that's not what I got from it. And I'm gonna look back, because towards the end they saying God, 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 like they are God. And
you wasn't listening to what they said in between.
Well,
you sort of turned it off when after they said God.
Okay, well, let me go back to it. But let me make this straight to you how I feel. I don't play calling nobody no God. I just, to me,
Why
that's just sacrilegious. I just don't do that.
Do you play when they call you slave? Why isn't that the same thing?
That ain't the same thing. If you, God, saying the word God and saying
they call you black devil and everything, brown is devil, this and all that. So you don't take that much offense to that.
Okay, well, we have to agree to disagree on that, because, like I said, I don't believe in calling nobody no God. I don't think nobody's no God, and to me, that's what they're saying, that we're God. I don't get that. In fact, yeah, and I'm trying to look. Okay, you said, okay, let's try to go back to it, because you said that. Let me see.
I'm sorry, I'm outside, so I have to frame a book.
You said what?
I was saying that I apologize for all the frame, but I was frame my butt because I'm outside.
Okay, now this person talking about the Illuminati. Now I don't think he's talking about
the other part. We already got that part.
But let me just say this: with the Illuminati, I think they wasn't calling the Jews the Illuminati. I think that what they saying at the end, which we haven't got to, I don't think is yet, is that rich people have their sex, and they're like the Illuminati. That's what I think. But okay, we're gonna go back to this. You said I didn't play it all the way through, or what?
I thought you were about to play the part where they were talking about saying, "Hey, God, you're a God." With a lower cap G and not a capital.
I'm trying to see where that is.
It was sort of toward the beginning.
Well, we ain't going back to the beginning, but I heard it in that little part that we played. So okay, we're gonna try to skip around a little bit.
That's what operating on a subconscious level. So they fear. So Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says, when you show up, they view a grown, 6 foot tall, 230-pound black man the same as they do a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Because in us is the genetic material to annihilate them.
Ooh, it's their fear of God.
It's their fear.
It's their fear of God.
Exactly.
And then for everybody, because I'm bringing it back in context again, because just so you know, we keep referencing, you know, the great Dr. Francis Cress Wesleyan. Get that book, The ISIS Papers. If you haven't, it's essential. And Chris' book first, get the Warriors Tapestry. He says that book, as well as so many others, that everything that we're talking about, like it has been kept secrets, but it's not a secret. These books are out there for you to actually read upon, and they're all facts. Nothing. That's where I just wanted to get to. I didn't want to keep creating this boogeyman of they. Or the
You have to
Illuminati.
demystify who these people are.
We got to get to when we talk about who the original man is.
Right.
It is the original melanated man coming from the place that we call Africa, which I always find this so amazing.
I had a conversation with one of the lost boys from the Sudan, and I asked him, "Do you consider yourself African?" He's like, "No."
Yeah.
They're tribal.
Yeah.
You take pride in your tribe.
And I just came back from Uganda, and so when you look at it, they don't say, "Hey, I'm African."
Exactly. They don't. Right.
I'm from Uganda. Or I'm from my family. They don't. We call it Africa, like our African American.
Right. Now hold on 1 second. Now let's look at America.
Right.
We say, well, where you from? I'm from Detroit, man.
Yeah.
We don't say we're Americans.
Yeah.
See, it's the same dynamic.
Especially when I'm from Long Island. I'm from this street. I'm from this exit. I'm from Brooklyn.
Exactly, man.
You say your whole address.
Don't identify with the whole idea that the place was called Africa.
Yeah. They tell you they tribe.
It was more tribal, man. And right now, we need to find our tribe.
That's all it is, the lost tribes.
Exactly.
And it goes back, and it goes all the way back to where you were not being anti-Semitic, because that's impossible. You were just speaking the truth and talking about your community, your tribe, and how others have came and taken from your tribe. So which I would love to jump and just divert just original, whether it's Nickelodeon to the little one to my kids.
Right.
I'm still giving them that game. You a god. You powerful. You a superhero. Right. You know what I mean? Everybody likes this Marvel concept now of the idea, but that they don't understand that originated with us. They getting a little bit of it. They giving them the Wakandas. They giving it a little, but ultimately, if all I'm talking about is the essence of who we actually are and expressing that light, as dangerous as it may be, it's the truth. Right, Professor Griff.
Let me just turn it off. But okay, so I still say you shouldn't compare yourself to God. I'm just sorry. That's just how I feel. Even if you feel that you're doing so good that you on top, I just wouldn't. I'd rather say kings and queens. It's just not in my nature to compare yourself to God.
That's because that's what we've been taught.
Okay, well, I agree. That's what I've been taught. So I don't even play that.
Okay. Well, I just want to say, if I could, because I have
the screen has disappeared for some reason. Wait a minute.
I appreciate you for having a dialogue that we can express ourselves, and I think that's what we need in this country. Just a honest, bigger conversation where we're not tiptoeing around each other, and we say our truth. We allow the next to say theirs, and then we look at the science.
Yeah, overall, like I said, I think that he spoke what he looked up in history, but I think he should have did more of, now he did rely on he named some people that you should look at, and I can't speak about those books because of course I haven't read those books, but from the little bit that I did read, I think he's speaking the truth, but I think it should have been said the right way, because even about, saying we're the original, that's just like saying I'm original African American. We all African Americans. So I just think it could have be put in a different way. If he did apologize, and what I want to say about, because I know we went way over, but what I want to say is about, and this is to our community, about the cancellation of Nick Cannon. Now, really, I think everything was said was really on Griff. Nick Cannon was receiving what Griff said, but I don't see me myself. I don't see where Nick Cannon was specifically saying that, you know, he hate Jews, he hate white people. I just didn't get that out of it. And I feel like now this is what Nick Cannon had wrote on his page, which was real sad because he did make a apology, which the Black community felt like it's no way he should have made an apology because they felt like you feel that the truth is the truth and you stand by your truth. So he wrote this. Oh, I got to share this with you.